Hello, everyone. Sorry about the late start today. Was stuck in, I was traveling back and everything just didn't go as planned. But yeah, we're back on. Welcome to Changing the Narrative. Um, Another episode talking about scholarships. Waiting for Dr. Kelechi to join us. However, if you're here, you can join us. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. If today is your first time, we normally do this just to talk about scholarship routes, how people got their scholarships. If you've got any questions, we sort of use this platform as an encouragement for everyone and anyone that is looking for scholarships abroad. So if today is your first time, thank you very much for joining us. And I will start before as we wait for our guest, Dr. Kelechi. So I've been having a lot of questions in my inbox with those that have lower CGPA. And last week we were able to get Dr. Isaac to talk to us on how you can use this to your advantage, or how it's not the end of the world. And I do agree with him 100% that it's not the end of the world. There's a lot that you can do whilst you're waiting or even doing looking for opportunities out there. Truth is, sometimes whatever happens for a reason. Aside everything else, there's certain things that are out of our control. So it is how you sort of use the situation to your advantage. And a lot of the time with things like that happens, you can use that in your SOPs. You can use that to show how resilient that you are, and why you should be given a chance. And I do believe everybody deserves a chance at anything and everything, because you can only get better. You understand? You can only get better. So this is Changing the Narrative, and we're always using this to change the narrative. We're using this platform to encourage people to change the narrative. We're using this platform to encourage people to look beyond their flaws or their negative side of things that happen or situations that happen. So right now, with things that are happening, especially in developing or underdeveloped countries. I mean, even the Western countries or developed countries are going through hard and tough times. So how much more those back in developing countries? So after all that is thrown at you, now how do you use that to your advantage? So somebody would ask, how do I convince how do I use this negative? It's not even negative. How do I use this struggle to my advantage? Well, if if things are being thrown at you left, right, center, and you're still looking for scholarship, you're still looking to further your education. That is to show how resilient and forceful you are, and this is something that you can use in your SOPs to help you out. So it's all how you tell the story, how your misfortunes or misfortunates, that things that are happening, you're still using that to break out. So in your SOPs, you can just construct or use these things to your advantage, in the sense that you don't tell your story in a needy way, but rather show the positive side of it. By telling your story in a way that, even though this is what is happening, you're not letting that stop you from striving to achieve something better or a better life. And it's to show that you're also ready, to break out of these struggles. And depending on how you tell it, it can be a stepping stone. I'm not saying it's a guarantee that you're gonna get the scholarship. However, you never know. So do not use that as a reason why you don't want to apply for a certain scholarship, or to deter you from even trying, because chances are you would actually get it, or you might be able to get it. So um if you're listening and you fall, or you see yourself in that category, it is to tell you that all hope is not lost, and that you will be able to use all these stories to help you out. Now, when looking for a scholarship, give yourself some time. Give yourself a lot of time. It's not a rush. It's not a race. Um, some people are looking to get it in within 6 months. Don't as a matter of fact, I would say life goes on. So outside you're waiting for the scholarship or to get the application, life goes on. Look for other things to do. Look for a way to keep improving your CV. Look for a way to keep going, to keep acquiring new skills, and how you can keep tailoring all of these, or using this time that you're using to plan your application, or the delays in your application. Use that time to actually make yourself better, and prepare yourself, and come back even stronger. So what are these things that you can do while you're waiting for um, an application to be accepted, or even looking for your yeses because you've had a few no's? We touched on this briefly last week. Internship opportunities. Don't just look for internship opportunities that is not related to your course, though. If you can get an internship opportunity or a volunteering opportunity that is tailored to your career path, that will be relevant to your program, I'd advise you use that, you go for that. And now the internet, or the world is so connected that you don't even need to be physically in a place. Though I normally tell people that for internships, try and be look for a place that you have to physically be there to apply yourself, and also be able to take stuff in. And this is where you can get feedback in a way that is tailored to somebody seeing you work, somebody seeing you applying yourself. Because now, if you do need to put someone down for a reference, you could use somebody that has seen you work in the current, environment or current situation that is tailored to whatever that it is you're looking to do. But this is not to say don't look for online or virtual opportunities, because again, now we're in a global um, digitalized environment, or era, that everything is almost going virtual. Everything is, majority of the work is you can do online. So while you're looking for volunteering and internship opportunities, learn other skills. You would ask, what are the other skills that you can learn? Are you going or looking into research programs? Take on these courses. There are lots of programs online now, again, online, that you can learn. There are lots of free courses online that you can start doing, to improve your skills, and also be able to equip yourself readily for your new journey in the scholarship or study abroad um, opportunities. For those of you that are looking to go to maybe Germany, France, Czech Republic, I'm trying to think of all these schools that are not English speaking countries. You could use this time to learn a language, even if you do not become fluent in it. You could use that time to learn the basics, because even though some of these countries still offer their courses in English, it will be beneficiary to you as the individual, as the candidate, to be able to understand the basics. So it's only going to make life easier for you in the first place. So why not? As you, if you're looking for programs or apps, Duolingo is one. I use Duolingo a lot in for different languages. At the moment, I'm in Kenya, and I had to learn a few words in Swahili to get by. I can say hello. I can say how are you. I can, greet you in different days, like morning, evening, and afternoon. Even though it's not a lot, I can still try to, start a conversation and just get ask for help in English later. So what I'm trying to say is look for apps, go online, YouTube. There are a lot of good YouTubers out there that are taking time um, to put together all of these things that um, people need, either teaching the basics in terms of pronunciations, how to the common things that you need to do in these countries. If it's not English speaking country, I advise that you could use that opportunity to learn that language, and it will be to your own benefit. It just means it also shows how prepared you are, and also how eager you are to make the best out of the opportunity that is being offered to you. Again, do not compare your journey to anybody else. Do not compare your journey to anybody else. Some people are some people are lucky, whether I want to use that word or not. Some people are not just lucky, but they've worked to get the yes that they have. Their journey might have taken them 6 months. Yours might not be the same, but it doesn't mean you won't get it. You will get it, but it is all how you use that time to equip yourself, to make yourself better, to give yourself a better chance. And to be honest with you, right? I think whenever I've heard people that have had more than 10 no's and they still carried on. I know one of George, who is now become like my best person on LinkedIn. He had 30 no's and still carried on. And I still asked myself, 30 no's, what kept him going? So you see, when you have, oh, we have our guest here. Hello, Dr. Kelechi. Thanks for joining us. And my apologies. Yeah, that roadblock just threw me off, that I couldn't get here on time, but thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Can you hear me well? Hello, can you hear me
Can
well?
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you now. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
I can hear you now. Yeah,
So, how are you doing? All good?
that's good. Welcome to Changing the Narrative, and thank you so much for joining us.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Yeah, so we've already spent a lot of time. So I was just trying to encourage our listeners before you come on board. So without wasting much more time, I'm going to use this opportunity. I'm good, thank you. I'm very good, thank you so much. And yourself?
Yes, I'm good. It's like there's some delay from when I speak to when you get me. Is it okay now?
Yeah, I think there is a bit of delay in the transmission.
Yes. I'm just checking. I think my network should be fine. Okay.
Hello, Dr. Kelechi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you very well.
Yes. Yeah. Is it is it okay to sort of go and try and join back in, and let's try a second time.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So are you back in with us? I think you're still getting the messages very late. I don't know if you can go offline and try and join again. That probably might help. Okay. Hmm.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, Dr. Kelechi, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I think this is much better. You're hearing me as I speak. Yeah, so thank you for joining. A lot of time has been spent already, so we'll go straight into your submission. If you can briefly tell us about yourself, what you do, who you are, your background. I know you are into scholarship and mentorship. You've also been awarded a scholarship yourself. And congratulations on your marriage. I'm saying quite a lot in one sentence, but yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you're welcome. Yeah.
All right. So
So
I
yeah, the
think,
floor is all yours.
all right, a bit about myself. So I'm Casey, Kenny. It all works. It's the same. I'm Nigerian. I'm still Nigerian. I always say that because I'm still Nigerian, right? Sometimes people say I was Nigerian. I did my first degree in Nigeria, industrial chemistry. That was in finished in 2011. Then served in Nigeria for 1 year, and after that, I started as a graduate assistant at the university. So that's Federal University of Technology in Owerri. I did that for a couple of months. Then I got my scholarship to travel to Europe. So I came to Germany in 2013. So basically, now it's over 10 years since I made that first move.
Wow.
Um, and I did my master's in functional materials between Germany and France. So that was the Erasmus Mundus master's program. Then after that, I got funding for my PhD, which was funded by the European Union. So I did a double PhD in organic and polymer chemistry from the university in France, so Bordeaux, and also KIT, so Castro Institute of Technology, focusing on how to develop ways to make materials, functional materials from cellulose, so bio-derived materials. And that was for 3 years. So I finished in 2019. And after that, I joined Procter and Gamble as a research scientist. But I think what is relevant for this conversation is my kind of scholarship journey and what I've been doing with
Scholarship.
that knowledge.
Yes.
So in July of 29, actually June of 2019, I founded what we now know as DEKEMP, right? So the Dr. Casey Mentorship Platform. And the goal then was to use my experience because I was sharing a lot about scholarship on LinkedIn, and a lot of people were reaching out to me to know what they could do and how I could provide some guidance. So I decided to put them into a group, right, which is easier to share the informations once versus each person
Mhm.
having to get this one after another. So that's how the camp started in 2019 with, I think, 7 to 8 people. Today we are over 400. We have won over 220 scholarships worth over $15 million. And so you have Kempites now scattered all over the world, right? We have a lot of them in the US, in Canada, top
That's
universities,
impressive.
Europe. And so yeah, five going to 5 years now. I think we have come out. We've made quite
Mm.
an impressive landmark. But I have to state that the goal of the camp is not about winning scholarships, right? So I'm happy to join and talk about it. But for us, we see scholarship as an enabler of our vision, not the vision itself. So for
Mm.
DKM, our goal is
Okay.
to build a collective win environment or community where our win inspires others to win, where our winning is not the end of itself, but is a pathway for us to use that experience to enable others. So that's our philosophy, that is our drive. That is my mantra, the Till We All Win mantra, and that is also the title of my book, right? So, how do we develop the right mindset and philosophy, ideology to be able to live beyond ourselves? So, that's the bit about me.
Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. That is impressive. And thanks for sharing. So, as you said, the because of this conversation, a lot of the question will be directed at the mentorship and the scholarship aspect of your life, even though there's a lot to you. So, and again, as you mentioned, so if you're listening, those that are listening and they're looking for mentorship and looking for a guidance, this is your man. Look for him on LinkedIn, follow him, reach out. In I think I've got the DEKEMP link on one of my posts, my last post actually, about this event. Click on it, reach out. This is what I keep telling people: you're never alone. There's always people out there who are looking or ready and available to help and support. So far as
Mhm.
you're ready to put in the work as well. Sometimes I get some messages in my emails, and I do not mean to be rude, but it's like I'm not ready to do all the work for you because I'm not the one looking for that opportunity. I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
you have to apply yourself, because then it also
Absolutely.
shows the kind of work ethic that you've got. If you're looking
Mhm.
to go into research, into masters, into PhD, and you're not even ready to apply yourself, then sorry, you're not even ready to embark on the PhD or master's degree uh, process at all. So yes, getting
Absolutely.
that out of the way now. back into the event. Yeah. So what what sort of what with the DChem? Let me start with the DChem, right? How, if somebody wants to get involved, how where do they start? How do they start? Because you said the scholarship is not the main focus. Then what is the main focus? This is so that when people are coming on board, they already know what they're getting themselves into, and it's not just like an easy ticket for scholarship.
Yes. So DKEM does a lot. Like I said, scholarship is one of the things, right? We have people that are driven to be more, and then scholarship is a way to enable them to get there. So DKEM, generally to join DKEM, you have to do what we call the 30 days challenge. Usually there is a call. Did I lose you? Okay. So usually there is a call for people that want to join. Most likely the one for this year would come out around April or May, or it might even be in June. So the reason is um, we are not so in a hurry to have more people. In fact, I think the way we have approached this is always to be sure that the number of people we have, we are able to provide the necessary support to each of them before we get more people, right? So at 400, it's already quite a lot, to be honest. And so we are quite conservative in having new people added to the group. But the
Mm.
process is that we put up a call for people to apply. Usually there is a tax that is attached to doing to be able to apply. After applying, and most of these are done on LinkedIn, right? So there's going to be a
Mm.
post from me saying, okay, we have the next call for those that want to join the camp, that want to be my mentees. This is a task for you to do. When you complete this task, there will be some screening and then selection, and those that are selected will go through what we call the 30 days challenge. The 30-day challenge involves reading a book and summarizing one book every day for 30 days. Those books are provided by me. I think most times people always feel that
Wow.
what you don't pay with money, what you don't pay with money is free. But I can tell you that the most expensive asset that we have is time.
I
And
like
so
this.
we
I
we
like
put
this.
we
Mm-hmm.
put a lot of effort because my time is so expensive. And if you would need to get access to my time, my
Mm-hmm.
network, you have to demonstrate to me that you understand what is what. And so you have these 30 days, you have the books, you have to summarize them and submit it before the end of the day. They are tracked, each of the activities, each participants are tracked for the 30 days. One of the books we have introduced, I think for the past three editions, is my book, which is the Till We All Win, which kind of bring all these other books together, right, into a practical example of how those different aspects, these books covers social life, how to be lead, how to integrate, emotional intelligence, emotional etiquette, and also how to own your life, right? Ownership. So at the end of completing the 30 days challenge, automatically you become a campite, right? Which
Mm.
is how we call ourselves. And what we get, or what you get out of this, is clearly the network first, right? So you are put into a group of
Okay.
people that are intentional about their growth, about their life. And one of the goal that we want to get out from this 30 days challenge is the mindset. If the mindset is not all right, it's difficult to be right. Okay. So we need to first get the mindset all right. We need to move from get you into our philosophy of
I like
process
this.
over results. Okay. So process over results, that's like a fundamental mindset change that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to recognize that even for a scholarship journey, what is more important is not that you want a scholarship or you would win a scholarship, but the process that you are going through to win that scholarship. And if you do it, if you focus on the process, what you get out of winning a scholarship is the right mindset, the readiness to go through grad school.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen situations where people get into grad school and just get completely overwhelmed because they have not really considered that this is not some money that you are given to like flex per se, right? There is a lot of expectations from you by the awarding institute or organization. So for us, DKEM is a lot about being in a community with people that recognize that till we all win, like all win, we are always a work in progress. And so if you don't have that collective mindset, it's difficult to be part of such an organization. So the scholarship is one aspect of it, but that
Mm.
your ability to use your own story from where you are today to inspire others, to enable others is so important. So those that are interested to join the camp, it will be very easy to already know just by talking to you once, or watching your previous post, whether you are a self-centered person or a selfless person, right? And so these are our core values that you need to at least demonstrate to be able to fit into the community.
I love this. I love this. I love the fact that you're talking about mindset. So the next event, I think the next two or three events is actually to do with mindset. I love this. It's actually changed the conversation now of the event. I think we probably might have to go a bit deeper into the mindset. And I like the fact that you're talking about the process. Sometimes it's like I keep telling people, it's not you that has been rejected, it's your application.
Some a
So
different
what is it
entity.
about the
Yeah,
application that got rejected? Because as
yeah.
soon as you start having, mm-hmm,
No, no. I mean, I'm just nodding my head to agree with you. Like, there is you, there is
no,
an
go on.
application,
I'd,
right?
I'd
There
love
is
to listen more about you. Okay.
yes. So there is you, and then there is an application.
Mm-hmm.
So an application can be rejected, which is okay. But the you that did the application need to always remember that you are not the one. In fact, nobody can reject you, right? You are the only one that can reject yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you are the one that have the ability, capacity, and
Reject you.
potential to do whatever you want to do with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the output, what you bring out of yourself, will be assessed by others, right? And then they would place and make judgments on those. But you need to always see it as an outside entity, which allows you to look into it and understand what you can do
Yes.
differently next time, right? Because if you are rejected as a person, then what are you going to change? Like, it's you that is supposed to make that change. But if you are now the one that if you make yourself to be like the
Mm-hmm.
rejected person, then it becomes very difficult to make any change. So you always need to see like your applications as another entity, opportunities as another entity. So which is why you can, I always say that when you don't ask,
Mm-hmm.
you already have an answer, which is no, right? So if you ask, you now have a chance that maybe one of it would be yes. But so it's the same like not being afraid of failure or not being afraid of
Mm.
trying something new, right? And this is something that helps when you always look at the outcome of what you do as another entity. Of course, you are responsible for those actions that you take on how you approach those outcomes.
Wow. Thank you so much for this. I don't know about everybody else that is watching, but I'm enjoying this. I really am enjoying it, even though we just started. So, and I like the approach that you've taken. You see, a lot of people are looking for these scholarships, right? But reading is a problem to them. And I like the fact that you're starting or you're picking the people that are ready to apply themselves. Because a lot grad school, there's a lot of reading, especially if you want to do PhD. I'm not doing PhD, but doing a master's, I'm working and doing a part-time master's, and I can see or I feel it when I'm not able to cover the reading materials. It reflects in my writing. It reflects in the stress level when I have to produce the assignment. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't like reading, and if you're gonna pay somebody to do your assignment for you, I'm sorry, but you might as well not even bother with the degree because you end up having a paid for degree. So you've not really changed anything and you've not
Mm-hmm.
really learned anything. You've come
Mm-hmm.
back to the process, and I love that you emphasize on the process and the process and the process, because people do not understand the process. They just want, oh, I've just finished this master's degree from so and so school, and it's a pride to them. I'm not taking it from you. It is a proud moment. But if you've not gone through the process, that pride moment is not the same as somebody who has gone through that process. And that pride moment comes with the process that you went through and it's part of your story. So do not take that away. Give yourself that chance to experience that story, to experience that journey. And I'm only
Absolutely.
using this to encourage you out there. If you are
Mhm.
going through a process and you're finding it tedious, it's gonna pay off. Just keep your head in the game and keep going. It's gonna pay off. Right. So
Absolutely.
coming back to the process, I know you have a story. So if you can tell us a bit about your journey, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, so my scholarship journey, in fact, let me even take a step back on that. So when I first and this is so important because it's the point that you were raising earlier about the importance of mindset, right? So when I went to the university for my admission, right, um I we were talk like young people just trying to get admission and doing what we call then clearance at the how do you call it, admission office. So what happened was I overheard some guys talking, right? These were like, we just started. And they were saying something like, oh, the education, the certificates you get from this university from Nigeria is useless. It doesn't help. I prefer if you want to go abroad, you need a different kind of validation of the your certificate. There was a lot of negative
Mm.
conversations going on, and I just kept wondering, like, come on, guys, if this is, I was saying to myself,
Admissions.
like, if this is so useless, why are you even here, right? Because, I mean, if your goal is just to have a paper, you could as well stay at home. I think it comes down to the point you were making about going through it, not just saying, I'm here to get a document at the end of the day. It's just a paper. But what is going to make that difference is the you that have come out after going through that process, right?
Mm.
If somebody does it for you, you simply just, it's just like a rock that water is dropping on, and after a few hours you don't even realize, or you wouldn't even believe that it was having water dropped on it, right? So I think what I took out from that conversation
Mm.
then was the importance of what you hear and what you do with what you hear, and how you use that information for your own life. I think for me, what really helped then is I
Even
had a brother, right? I had an older brother that went through the same university. I knew that he didn't have to do anything for his documents to start studying in the UK. He was studying in the UK at that point. So that was a very good the importance of people you look up to and how their story can help you to strengthen your focus, right? So when I think about a lot of what I do today, I always say
mm,
that the whole
mm,
basis
mm,
of it is to
mm.
give hope, right? To give hope, because I know many of us dream, but if you dream without hope, it's not helpful. It's difficult to conceptualize or even ideate or even
Exactly.
envision what that could look like.
Hmm.
But when you see someone that has gone through that process you're going through, or you intend to go through, it helps to keep you focused. So I always say that my brother has always been that inspiration, because I had a lot of reasons around me, the realities around me that would have stopped me from wanting to do more, right? And knowing that he has gone through that journey and me aspiring to be like him really helped me to keep being focused. And that's also the basis of what I do today, right? That people can look and say, okay, oh, this guy went through this kind of process, and so see where he is. So now back to your question on the process. Um, I started my scholarship journey. That was in my fourth year. So I did a 5-year program. So I started my first scholarship journey in my fourth year, and that was interesting because I didn't have a lot of what is required to apply. But for every excuse I gave, my brother was like, please apply. You have zero excuse. Oh, I do not have a transcript. Write to your school. See what you can use as your current transcript. Just start something, right? So I did the first year, obviously didn't get anything out of it. I did my second year application in my final year. And at that point, I'd gotten a lot of experience. I've gotten a lot of, feedback also from the previous applications, and I was put on a waiting list. So I got my scholarship in my third year of application. So that was when I was doing my what we call the youth service in Nigeria. So I don't know if I lost you or you lost me. I can't see you. Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, hello again. So sorry. The network, it's rather unfortunate, but this is such a very interesting conversation, and I'm so sorry. We're back, and I hope you're still with us. If you got any questions as the live is going on, please do ask, and then we will get Dr. Kelechi to answer it. And thanks for your patience with the network. I really do apologize. It's beyond my control today, of all days. So yeah, please bear with as we deal with the network issue. But yes, mindset. So if you're on this journey, oh, there we are. Good. So
Okay, can you
sorry.
hear me now?
Yeah, yes, I can only apologize. I
Okay.
know my network keeps it, so it keeps bouncing from the my phone and the network that I'm using, because the network I'm using is quite slow. But then I need both so that the stream will keep going. So yeah,
Okay.
I apologize. It's beyond my control. So yeah. So as you were saying, I'm really enjoying this conversation. You're touching on some points that is very relevant, and I feel in this generation we need it, because there's so much pressure. There's so much unnecessary noise out there that puts people under pressure, that if you're not careful, it changes who you are as a person just to fit in. It changes you as a person or as an individual, to try and not do the right thing. It changes you as an individual to follow the wrong path. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and there is a lot of noise out there, so I'm really enjoying this conversation. So yes, if you can continue where we left off, of you having an older brother.
Yes, so I was sharing my scholarship journey actually started very early, as a
Mm,
fourth year undergraduate student. And in the first year, I had so many reasons not to apply because I didn't have a transcript, I didn't have my statement of results, I didn't have even an IELTS, I didn't even have an international passport. Okay. So there were so many reasons why I couldn't apply to any program. But my brother just insisted, no matter what excuse I brought, he said you have to find a way to at least submit an application. So, for example, yes, I don't have an international passport. I use my school ID, right, in the place of an
mm,
ID. I didn't have a transcript. I simply created a student copy because I knew all my results up to my fourth year. So I could have a copy and really write it there, student made copy of results, right? So I could submit. So the point is, I could at least put up an application. And what I got out from it, I wasn't accepted in any of the program, but there was a lot, at least somebody read my application. Somebody took time, looked at my profile and provided feedback, or even in this case a rejection or a love letter. But the point, I was quite excited that, oh, somebody actually, my application went through and I got a
mm.
notification that it was received. I mean, somebody's really looking
Wow.
at my application. And so the second year when I applied, I already had some experience from applying, right? And in the second year I was put on waiting list for two different programs. And the third year I also applied. So it was the third year now that I finally got my scholarship to travel for my masters. But the whole point here was that, with each of these years that I was applying, I was getting better, which is why I
Mm,
kept. In fact, I have a whole chapter in my book about process over result, and to me, that is the basis of differentiating who is going to get a scholarship and who doesn't get,
who is
right?
not?
And
Mm,
because if you're a process oriented person, you're a growth minded person, growth mindset. So you do not see the scholarship as an end of itself. You see it as an enabler of your next step. So when you don't get the scholarship, you do not go and say, "Oh, I'm a first class. I have all this suppose profile. I was not selected. I was rejected." Coming back to your application versus you who is being rejected, and that to me simply makes it so difficult to win a scholarship because first you are not going to improve, right? Because you think you are
mm,
already at the best, so you do not give room to improve. You will not ask for any feedback.
mm,
So you don't even know what you're supposed to work against. And so what happens is towards the next application, you simply just use what you used the previous year, even though every year it gets more competitive. So the same, I always say the application, your application or your profile you used in getting a scholarship today, you might be shocked that if you use that same profile the next year, you might not even be put on a waiting list. You might not even make it to that same scholarship because it's getting more
Mm,
competitive every year, right? So we have to see the
yes.
scholarship journey as a learning opportunity. So if you've been applying for scholarships years after years, what I always ask is, what have you learned? It's not enough to say you got a rejection. What did you learn from that rejection? What should you be working on? What are the gaps that you have identified in your profile that would make you more competitive the next year? What should you be working towards? And that's the foundation. Again, like I said, it's not about how many years you have been applying for a scholarship. It is what you are doing every year differently, right, to become more competitive, that is going to differentiate you. And so you don't just win a scholarship, you're getting out as someone that is also ready for grad school. You've understood what it means to not, to be resilient, to be rugged, to be persistent. And this is what you need to go through grad
Mm,
school. You don't go through grad school with everything is rosy, I get what I want. It doesn't work. So
mm,
if you don't build
yes.
that mindset before coming to grad school, which I believe the scholarship journey really builds you if you position yourself
It
to
does.
process versus I just want a scholarship this year, it must be this year. Nobody gives you that assurance, right? And so you must really see it as a journey, a learning journey. And if it's a learning journey, you need to come out from it being better. So every year you don't get a scholarship, are you better than the person that you were a year before? Yes, no. Do you know now how to better structure your thoughts, how to write your SOP, how to even convince someone, influence others based on your story? Have you developed your storytelling skills? Have you understood how to position your skills in your CV to meet the objective of the programs you're applying for? So there are so many lessons that you can learn just by applying or
Mm,
making an application, right? And if you just leave all of this and focus on, I want to get a yes, or I want to get the scholarship as your main primary objective, you lose maybe 90% of the main ingredient or the main outcome that you should get from applying for a scholarship.
wow. 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 Hmm. You're touching on a lot of things, and I'm glad it's coming from you. Trust me, I'm very happy it's coming from you because you've gone through the process. You're even now taking or helping others through the process. So sometimes when it comes from somebody who's been through the process, they're speaking from experience. They've tried and tested these things. So that's why I'm just nodding and smiling because sometimes we kind of also just want to sugarcoat stuff and massage stuff and make everybody feel fluffy, but sometimes you have to tell the hard truth. And this is what changing the narrative is all about. One individual, one mindset, uh, one individual, one mindset at a time. Because the thing is, like you started with DEKEMP, it's not the quantity, it's the quality that you're looking for. And this is the thing. You can't fit in everywhere. So it is you as the individual. You have to be able to be moldable. You have to be
Exactly.
ready for that journey. Like we
Mm-hmm.
can even put you in the hands. We could even write the SOP for you, and you still be rejected, and you would still take it because it's the mindset. And we can't say it any fluffier than it's the mindset. It's you. It starts with you. You know, um, I can tell you all the beautiful and brilliant person that you are, but even if you don't even trust in yourself, it
Mm-hmm.
it will not mean anything. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the journey that we are trying to encourage everybody out there. Like, it starts with you. Are you ready to
Exactly.
to enjoy the journey? Are you ready to take the positive out of the journey? Don't get us wrong. We're not saying it's going to be rosy. We know
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult. We know it's bumpy, but
Mm-hmm.
we're saying enjoy that bumpiness, enjoy that ride. Yes, there are going to be times that you will cry. There are going to be times that you will break down. There are going to be times that you feel like giving up. But then
Absolutely.
again, it is all those roller coaster, all these mixed feelings, all these delays, all these waiting game, all these highs and lows that makes the end so beautiful, because you look back and
Absolutely.
you realize you've come
The
through a
journey.
lot, but you're still here.
Mhm.
Back to the journey.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you've been okay, let me just carry on. If you've been rejected, we're trying to tell you it's not you as the individual that is rejected, it's your application. Chances are at that particular application season, there were people that have gone through the process and have bettered themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's your opportunity to also better yourself and face the next season, and your season is gonna come. And this is what
Absolutely.
we're trying to say. And if you don't keep going, you will never know when you've actually be develop that mindset and ready to for the next battle. Because like you said, that journey is to get you ready for the PhD. I've seen a lot of stressed PhD students. I'm sorry that I'm using your stress as a
Yeah,
comic
but
right now,
it's a
but
tough
it's
it's a
just
tough period.
yes. So if your if the application process is frustrating you already, I mean, God knows how you're going to survive the actual studies when you do get there. So it is part of the process. And I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. So I'm going to use this Bible quotation that a lot of us don't. Every time I'm losing it, I go back to that scripture. Perseverance is patience, is to develop you as a character, as a
Yeah.
person. When you keep reading, every time I keep reading that scripture, is to reset the button, because at that time I'm
Mm-hmm.
almost at my wit's end and I just need an encouragement. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as every time I've read it, I get a different meaning. It means there is a different season that I'm about to get into. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the development of another character that I'm not knowing
That
yet,
is needed to go
or
through
I
that
don't
next
even know how
phase.
it's going to. Thank you for the next step that is about to come. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm preaching, but praise the Lord. Let's carry on. This is this is so that it builds you up. It because even after your PhD, after your masters, you're also going to have to develop another character where you've you've gone to an Ivy League school, you've gone to a university or a master's or a PhD degree in overseas. You're a master's holder, scholarship holder, come out of whatever, and now you have to face the job market again.
Mm-hmm.
That is another thing that, yeah.
Daunting
So you get
experience.
the yes. So if you're listening, you get what we're trying to say now, that it's never personal. Enjoy the process. Take what you need to take from it. Throw some of the things that you have to throw away. Unlearn some of these habits that you have to unlearn. Learn new habits that you have to learn, and
Mm-hmm.
and and flow with the process. When you
Mm-hmm.
want to cry, cry. When
Yeah,
you
it
want to
is
laugh,
needed.
laugh.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to eat,
Absolutely.
eat. You have to fast, fast. Enjoy the process. Yeah.
Enjoy
So
the
back to
process.
you. Yeah, back to you. So what was your difficult moment, if you had any? Not everybody goes through the difficult moment. If you didn't have it, you didn't have it. But what were your difficult moments and what kept you going?
I would say that the most difficult moment for me was actually realizing that, and it was really a tough time to realize that, you are chasing something for many years, and then when it comes, you now realize that there is a lot more challenge that awaits you after
Mm,
getting what you are looking for.
mm,
So imagine getting my
mm,
scholarship and being, excited as if it's going to be like the next great things to happen in my life, and it seems like everything started falling apart. Initially, my laptop was stolen in school. It had my SIM card, it had my phone, and I was expecting a letter from Germany to go to the embassy. Right, that was like 2 3 days before my interview. So that was tough one. Eventually, lucky for me, the person had dropped the SIM card, and immediately I had put that SIM card in another phone. I got a call that the dispatcher that had my letter, my scholarship letter, could not locate the address that he's supposed to deliver to. So If he could not reach me on
Wow.
that call at that moment, I don't know how I would have gotten that document. Right. So that was one. And I said, okay, eventually I was able to find how to, get the address to their office and pick that up. Then after my interview, I came back to school, and guess what? I was locked out of my email. So I could not access my inbox, right?
Whoa.
And I spent weeks worried that if the decision has been made about my visa, I wouldn't know. I didn't know whether it's going to get late,
Mm,
if they are going to return it in case the visa was approved. That was 2 weeks of really recognizing that most times we do not know what we are going to face, and we think what we are going through is the worst. But what we are going to prepares us for what is coming. So
I
after
mean,
this experience, I think eventually I can tell you for free that I've seen my mentees that have gone through unimaginable challenge after getting their scholarship. In fact, it's after getting your scholarship that you realize that now the journey starts, and
the
that
journey.
is why you need to recognize the importance of process. So the process is preparing you. And if you do not accept, if you bypass this process from preparing you, I can tell you for free that you might not survive the impact that is coming. So it's like, you try to run
Mm,
away from everything, you avoid it, you maneuver your way around it, but since you did not know how to deal with it, when it comes and you cannot avoid it, it might be even too late because you are getting to learn what you should have learned earlier. One of my mentees he got a Erasmus
mm.
scholarship, and I remember him struggling to get his visa to Turkey. He was being pushed back and forth, spending a lot of money. And one day I just checked on him and like, how are you doing? He said, Doc, that he was just laughing. I said, why? He said he went there today and they told him something else and blah, blah, blah. But he was laughing and they were wondering that. But he laughed because when he read my book, and all of my mentees have read my book, and he said he could just see himself in my shoes on this day when I was struggling to access my email, right? And just getting frustrated
Wow.
about what is
Wow.
happening. So the truth of the matter is that the journey is what prepares us for the destination, right? It is always direction over speed, it's process over result. And when you set your mindset on these two key ideology, what it does to you is it helps you to look beyond what is happening to you, right? You can be able to see beyond it. You can say, well, this is preparing me for something. This is not the end of it. This is not where I would end. What I'm going through is preparing me. What do I need to learn from it, right? So it's not always about what happens to us, but what we do with what has happened to us. And that is what is
What
going to
happened?
make us. So the challenges, there's always going to be challenges. The question is, what are you going to do about it, right? And
Going to
what you
do
do
about
about
it?
it could be in two ways. You either say this is the end or this is a pathway towards the next phase, right? And when you know that this is the pathway towards the next phase, you do not bypass it. You submit yourself to it and say, I want this to enable me, right? I want this to prepare me. Like we said, I'm also a believer, and I always come back to what Christ said, that in this world you would have tribulations, right? But be of good cheer,
Tribulations.
for I have overcome the world. So tribulations would come, but what are you going to do about it?
Mm,
When you want
mm.
to prepare for that next phase, you have to go through it. You don't go by it, right? Otherwise, you do not get the lessons, the experience. In fact, the experience you get becomes the testimony, becomes the evidence, the scar you can show somebody. I know what I'm talking about, right? See the scar, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what I've made out of it. So life is not, again, the scholarship journey is not about getting a scholarship. I think honestly that the scholarship journey is an opportunity for you to become a better version of yourself. Why? Aiming for a
Wow.
goal in this case, getting a scholarship. So with every
Scholarship.
application that you make, with every rejection that you receive, ask yourself each time, am I getting better? How, if you get better,
Mm,
like when you talk to someone twice or once, they would say, okay, no, 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 you think differently. That's you would recognize that things are changing in your life, and that is the growth
mm-hmm.
that you need to go into that next phase of your life.
Wow. Wow, this is amazing stuff. Thank you so much for sharing this free knowledge. I know you kept saying, I can tell you for free, and I keep laughing. And it's true, people are paying to listen to these things that we're sharing. So thank you so much. I
You're
read a comment.
welcome.
I've not read the whole article, but it is an article. I think it was an interview actually and you said how Nigerians can use the current state of the country to their advantage. It's not
Hmm.
just Nigeria, it's the whole Africa, I would say, because I'm in Kenya now, and the few times that I've had opportunity to talk to a few people. So, like I was saying, I was on my way home and I got very emotional because I was trying to go get food and I just saw this little boy and he looked dizzy, like, and I said, "What are you on?" But I realized he was smelling glue because he's hungry, and this is to sort of quench the hunger. So I was
Hmm.
like, "Wow!" So this is what people are going through. This is what
Hmm.
like this is the economical state that a child is having to sniff glue to quench a hunger. And so it's not just Nigerians. I'm only using this as an example to say that it's not just Nigerians. It's there. It is something that is happening. So as a way to sort of encourage our listeners, because I know majority, if not all, would be from underdeveloped or developing countries. How do
Hmm.
we use the environment we find ourselves in, something that is beyond our control? And I mean, we are survivors. This child, I don't know who taught him how to sniff glue to quench hunger, but this is him trying to survive and go through the next day. So the question is, how do you advise as a general, not just to Nigerians? What advice have you got for us today?
What I'm going to say is that it's really difficult to imagine, right? What a child trying to just survive. I think we have to be realistic with what is happening and not, sound motivational as if
Hmm.
that reality is not difficult to imagine, right?
It is difficult.
So it's a very sad reality, and it's, to be honest, quite difficult to imagine what could an advice could look like. However, what I would always say is that we each, this is my belief, right? I believe that we are all beautifully and wonderfully made by God, created by God in God's image and likeness. There is a reason why we are here. There is a purpose why we are here, and sometimes we do not discover that purpose. Sometimes we find ourselves in the most unimaginable areas that seems there is no chance to move forward. Um, I believe that we need to always remember that we are more than our
Mm,
reality,
mm,
right?
mm,
And in any way this can sound, like, we are more than where we are living. We are more than what our circumstances is telling us. And when we refuse to accept that reality of our background, that reality of our immediate environment, it gives us that opportunity to look beyond it. It's just like someone wondering, what are the odds that I'm going to get out of such environment, right? If you do not even envision it, I think that's one of the greatest gifts I would say that we have as humans, right? That we can dream.
mm,
We can look
mhm,
beyond.
mhm,
We can look beyond our reality, right? And envision something that doesn't exist within our reality. And the fact that we can dream, it gives us that opportunity to know that there is something more
yeah,
outside of what we are dealing with today. So the
mm,
encouragement I would give really is that we should always focus on what we can control. There are so many things we can't control, but I also realize that most times we spend our energy, our time, our effort focusing on those areas that we cannot control. So when we look at the areas we can control, one of the things we can control is our time. What are we doing with our time? Are we using that time to complain? Are we using that time to, refuse to identify what is possible for us to get better? Are we using, what are we really doing with our time, right? And if you can spend and ask yourself, how much of the percentage of your time are you spending on the things you can control? How much of the percentage of your time are you spending on the things that you can't control? Then that would help you to kind of find a way to truly make a difference in your life. So like I said, it's not to sound motivational, but I know that when we don't change anything, nothing would change. So that's just the
Nothing will
simple
change.
reality. If you don't change anything, time would keep moving forward, the world would keep moving forward. Um, Nobody is waiting and stopping or coming to save us. So when we come to that realization and we identify with our time, what can we be doing, right, differently and focusing on the areas we can control, then this could give us at least some kind of guide towards what our future could look like. And this is also why you have all, like you, for example, meeting this person and always trying to preach this message of collective wins. Because then they maybe the person struggling on the street, the connection that person needs to to change their life is just that word of encouragement from you, or that smile, or that realization that, oh, this person actually exists and they are not just
Mm,
some objects around in the environment or in the community. So we need to always, I always say that each day we always need to ask ourselves, like, how is my life making the life of others better?
others.
And it's not
Mm,
about giving, or it's really about, why is this your life more, like, what are you making out of this life that is making somebody's else life better, right? And if each of us have this kind of mindset, then we could get better as a community and as a country and as a continent.
wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, like you said, you've hit the nail on its head. What is your life doing to others? You know, because I think sometimes too we're so engrossed in our own self that we sort of become victims. We make ourselves victims out of nothing, and it's as if the world owes us something. And then you see,
Exactly.
or you meet other people. Like his name is Francis, such a nice boy.
Mhm.
You
I
meet
think
the likes of any.
I'll have about 3 minutes. I need to prepare for another meeting.
No worries. Yeah, we're about to round up anyway because we spend a lot of time. So this is us rounding up. So if you just joined us, thanks for joining. The conversation took a different turn. The questions I had, I didn't ask any of them. But sometimes too, I like it when it's like this because then
Spontaneous, right?
you take the moment and then you speak about the moment, which is what has happened now. So thank you so much, Dr. Kelechi. I really do appreciate it. And even with the unstableness of the network, we've still been able to continue this discussion. It's been a very awesome discussion, and I've
Mm-hmm.
loved the fact that we've tried to touch on different aspects of it to then link into our scholarship journeys or our study abroad journeys. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you very much for giving us that these words of wisdom and sharing, your journey, or using your journey as a inspiration, and also as an advice and an eye opener for us
Mm-hmm.
this evening. Really do appreciate it. So, in your
Thank
two
you.
minutes left, give us your final words.
So my final words, to really keep it simple. First, thank you for having me
Thanks
on the
for
live.
coming as well.
And I would say that I have two words of advice, right? The first one is process over result. Let the process build you. Let the process provide you with experiences that you need to advance yourself. The process becomes a bedrock that enables you to define your point of differentiation. It is the process that gives you the room to know what could be done differently. what you are sustaining, and even how to sustain what you are doing. If you get something by luck, there are no what are the odds that you are going to keep getting the next one or you will get the others. But
mm,
when you get something through a defined process, you can always come back. You can use it to inspire others, impact others, guide others, because there is something in place that helps you to be able to get out those results. So when results are process driven, you can do what? You can re reapply, you can replicate in others, right? Which is how why I define success. That success to me means transferring the success that has happened to me to others repeatedly, consistently over time, right? And you can't do this. We will not be able to do what we are doing in DEKEMP today if we don't have a process in place, right? So be process driven, right? Results will come, but results are just one aspect of process, right? There are
mm,
many other things that the process gives you that results will not give, right? That's the first. The second one is direction over speed. We are young people and we really want to get as fast as possible to where we want to be. We are
mm,
living in a social media age where a lot of people, show off, and we think we are not willing to, just like trying to become the life of somebody that has spent the last 30 years building their life.
mm,
You want to
mm,
live that life today at the age of 20. The truth is, somebody said, if you do not learn what you have to learn when you are young, you might not live to learn what you have to learn then
learner.
when you are getting old.
Mm,
So you have to learn what you have to learn now, and really focus on defining your direction instead of speed. And this is why thinking that you have to, start comparing with your peers, they are making it, you are not making it. I always say, what are you using as your yardstick to define what you should have been making versus what others are making, right?
mm,
Our
mm,
focus should be getting the better version of ourselves each day. How are you becoming better, right? How do you become the better of your better each moment, each day, each opportunity? And this is why direction is more important. So direction forces you to be focused on your own journey. Let other people's journey inspire you, not make you envious of them, but be
mm,
inspired by their journey, right? That, oh, this person has done this. It means I have a chance. Their journey becomes an inspiration. It becomes that hope that you look onto as you chart your own pathway. So focus on direction, not speed. It's not how fast you get to to where you want to be. It is how well you are getting there. Okay. So don't just arrive unprepared because you bypass every way around the way. And then when that time
mm.
to to prove yourself, you cannot, because you did not
You
go
cannot.
through the right, you did not learn, you did not take the time to grow. So I wish you all the very best. I wish you all the best in your scholarship journey. I hope if you put these two mindset philosophies into place, it's only a matter of time. As long as you stay being persistent, consistent, doing it differently each time, scholarship will definitely come. But beyond the scholarship is you becoming a better version of yourself that is ready for grad school. So wish you all the very best. Like I would always say, till we all win, we are all a work in progress.
We
Check
all
my
win.
book. I will send you
Yes.
the link, and you can also attach, and they can check it. I think it's also possible to ship that to Kenya. So wish you all the very best.
Sure. Thank you so much. I will not take much of your time. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you for your words of wisdom. So yes, you can go off and to your next meeting. And it's been an amazing event having you. I've learned so much from you as well. And
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank you.
much. And yes, please do share the link. I'll forward it as part of the repost to this event for others to have a catch up on it. So kindly do share the link so that we can forward it to others to also purchase it and use it in our journeys. Thank you so much. Have a
Ciao,
lovely
ciao.
evening. Okay. See ya. Well, thank you so much, listeners. If you're still there, if there's any questions that you need answering, please do not hesitate to contact me in a DM or connect with Dr. Kelechi. I've followed him for a while now, and he does share a lot of great stuff on his profile. Yeah, so if you're on a scholarship journey, just know that it's not just about writing and writing and writing. Learn from the process. try and bring and be the better version of yourself, because you will need it during your graduate journey, your PhD or your masters. You would need it. You would need to apply this. You need the patience. You need the perseverance. You would need the diligence. You would need it. That process that you're going through will come at hand. And remember, it's not you that is being rejected. It is your application. So learn to separate yourself from your application. You as a person, you as an individual, you embody something very great. You embody something very amazing, and it's only you that can determine that, and nobody else. So if you know you're amazing, if you know you're great, your scholarship rejection shouldn't define you. And do not let that get into you, but enjoy the process and learning from the process as to what you can do, you can apply, what you can even teach others as you're going through that process. I know people who have used their process to help other people, and those other people have applied it, that process in their application journey, and they've got the visas and um, um, the 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 scholarships, and they're still going through it, and they're still smiling and going, and it develops you as a person, as an individual. So what are we trying to say? Enjoy the process over the result, because if you don't learn the process now, chances are you will have to come back and learn it anyway. Things keep repeating in our lives some of the times, most of the time, because we haven't learned from what we needed to learn. And the last thing is, you don't learn the process of during the application. You get into grad school, and guess what? You'd have to face it. Now you're having to take your results or your studies and the stress of not learning through the process. That's a double stress. So why not enjoy it now that you have the chance? This is changing the narrative, one mindset, one individual at a time. Thank you so much. I can see still people online, 24 people. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We've gone way over time because of the glitch in the transmission. Thank you so much. We're here again, not next week, then the following week, to talk about mindset during your application process. And mindset is something that you don't even just need for your scholarship process. You need it as a person to go through life. And when your mindset is changed and you see things differently and you process things differently, it goes a long way to help you. So thank you once again. All the best in your study abroad or scholarship application journey. This is changing the narrative again. We're changing the narrative. We're trying to see things differently. We're using our struggles, we're using our rejections to change the narrative to our lives. So thank you for joining. Until we meet again, have a lovely evening and take care of yourselves. It's bye for now.